What's up, Axie Fam Parupiro here. This is episode 2 of our disablosaur guide series fighting against different team comps we usually face in Arena. In this video, we'll take a look at the classic Plant Beast Bird. The key thing against the Beast Bird matchup is if your disablosaur is faster than their beast, then you should have a good win rate against them. If we are able to eliminate their tank early on, then their beast is as good as dead. So in the first game, as we can see, I'll be using the damage plant, while in the second game, we will be using the Hatsun Biden tank, so we can see some difference in their playstyle. So for turn 1, we don't have a really good draw, so here we should just pass. We don't really want to use the discards very early on because we want to save them so that we can discard some of their key cards like the double talk or the dual blade. So we kind of want to wait and see if their plant uses some cards so we can actually snipe some of their more important cards. So we see their plant actually use a Vage Bite and Carrot, which is Cactus, which is not really a problem for us. The steal is okay. We don't really lose that much with just one energy loss. So for turn 2, let's try to get some value out of our tank. Based on how the turn 1 went, I'm assuming that he didn't draw that many beast cards because he didn't attack with his beast. If we wait any longer, then we cannot put any more use to our tank because he will likely be low, and then we'll also be in the double talk range if ever. So we have to try to get some value out of our tank right now. Also, his beast only has Hair and Dual Blade as the high damage dealing cards. Axie isn't that strong, and Hero is of course a 0 cost, so its damage is quite low. This is actually quite a risky play because if the opponent ends up actually drawing his beast cards on turn 2 and post fight, then he might actually end up killing our tank and we end up wasting our energy. But I think at this position it's still early on, we can afford this risk, so we can play our plant cards here. We can also start trying to use our discards here because we've seen him use 2 plant cards in the earlier turn. If he had another plant card, then he likely would have used it then as well. So if we go with the discards right now, then it is likely that we'll discard some of the bird cards or the beast cards. So here it is also a good idea to start using the discards along with our plant cards, and let's try to deal some damage to his tank. So our play ends up paying off as he doesn't play any beast or bird cards, which means that our tank should survive, and we even get to steal some of his energy, and we deal decent damage to his tank with our bug and plant. So for round 3, we want to kill off this plant, which shouldn't be a problem since he doesn't have any high shield cards. So we can just play the exact amount of damage and expect the opponent plant to die. And also we want to save our Fishknack for the bird attack. So here we are going to use our Hotbutt and then double discard to kill their plant, and it should die here. Yeah, so he doesn't end up playing cards in his plant, so it goes as our plans. He kills our plant, but we also kill his plant. But we are also able to discard 2 of his cards, so now he is left with almost no options. So here we can see that our opponent is low on cards. He has 4 or 5 cards in the hand. We are not quite sure because his plant just died the last turn. We are not sure if it had cards before it died, so it's kind of hard to tell with the card tracker in the upper right. We also know that he has 3 energy here. If we actually drew more bug cards here, I would have wanted to play with the bug plus the Fishknack. So I think that the bug would likely survive if we had that, but here, because we still haven't seen any post fight, it's still actually quite a threat. So we have both Kestrels here actually, so we can try to go for the kill for the beast or the bird, since a double Kestrel and Chomp would be enough to kill the beast. And then if his bird plays the egg bomb, it would still be enough for a kill. So we can go for that play. We can let our bug die and just kill whichever Axie he lets us to kill. So our opponent ends up passing because he has no decent cards to play, which we can see in this replay. He also doesn't have the egg bomb, so he just let us kill his beast. So from here on out, we actually are in a very good position and we should end up winning this 2v1 quite easily. So actually our bug can actually 1v1 a bird if we are at same energy, same cards, because the Fishna are just strong against them. We can stun one of their attacks and we have high shield, so the bird doesn't actually end up being able to kill us. So our bug can actually 1v1 the bird, and we have an extra disablosaur at the back, so there is no way we can lose from this position. We can just actually play the bug cards and annoy his bird further as we slowly win this game. So he tries to kill our bug, but this won't be enough to kill our bug unless he crits, and he doesn't end up critting. So we can actually deal quite decent damage. Then next turn we can just go for the finishing blow with our disablosaur. So as we can see, this matchup isn't really tough as long as we are able to kill his beast early on. So with that game 1, we can see that this matchup is actually quite easy as long as we can kill his plant early on. We were also able to showcase the power of our bug. We discarded a ton of his cards and couldn't end up even killing our bug until the very late game where his mid and backline were practically low HP. So we also saw the weakness of the beast because it has very low health, although it has high damage. As long as you can kill the tank, the beast doesn't actually pose much of a threat, and then ends up being a liability. So next game, let's look at another game, but this time we will be using our Hatsune Bidance plant. Okay, for game 2, we face a similar plant beast bird matchup. We have the same beast with a dual blade hair Axie hero, which is relatively low damage than a donut beast. And then the main difference is the bird at the back does not have an eggshell, so he does not even have the outplay potential with the egg bomb. So overall, I find this team to be quite easier to face than compared to our last one. Another difference here is that since we are playing our more defensive tank this time, the Hatsune actually cancels a lot of their cards. So Hatsune cancels the hair and Axie keys of the beast, and then all the bird cards are cancelled if they attack into our Hatsune. Okay, for turn 1, we actually get a decent draw. So against Double Talk Bird, we want to put up our shields earlier, since if we get attacked soon, then we are in Double Talk range and we cannot use our cards any further. So we definitely want to use our plant cards earlier on. So here we should play the both plant cards and a hotbot so that we avoid steals from this turn. Playing another plant card also gives us chain bonus for our shields, so we get a bit more shield. And then we disable his series for next turn, so he can't steal anything from us this turn and next turn. Okay, so he does end up playing one beast card, so our shield works out this play. And he also ends up playing a series, so good thing we use all our energy so he cannot steal from us anymore. And we also deal quite decent damage to our opponent. So his beast already played one dual blade. I'm assuming he doesn't have other beast cards. And also the fact that his beast hit into our Hatsune means that he cannot play both Axie and hair. So I'm not expecting heavy beast damage this turn. Also, since the bird is usually a supplement to the beast damage when trying to kill the tanks, usually we only see bird plays post fight or will finish off with the double talk. I don't actually expect his bird to attack us this turn, So here I would actually safely pass, and I don't actually think he would attack us. So he does attack us, but this is actually quite a strange play. He plays a double talk and a kestrel, followed up with a hair, which is very weird. He uses both of his energy, and the play just doesn't make sense, because if you use the double talk and kestrel, you bypass the tank's shield. But why would you follow up with a hair if you were going to bypass the shields? So if I had played any shield, that hair would have actually ended up doing nothing, because the hair would just hit my shield. So it was a very strange play indeed. I'm not quite sure why he chose to play it that way. Maybe he didn't want his cards to be discarded, but very strange to actually play the hair right there. So because he used one double talk last turn, we can actually try to use our plant cards here, since he probably doesn't have another double talk. So this is still a risky play, since he might actually have the beast cards right now to kill our plant. But I'm guessing that he's still not all that heavy on beast cards, since he used both bird cards. So here is somewhat of a small risk, but a calculated one. Then we can also play our bug cards here to start discarding his cards and limit his options further. Okay, so unfortunately he does use up 2 attack cards, which will end up killing our plant, but at least we are able to go into last stand. Part of the reason why I wanted to use the plant cards is because Hatsune just disables all of our opponent's cards, so next turn they cannot actually do that much damage. This is actually another beauty of this team. Since we have a Hatsune in the plant, we disable range cards. We have a discard bug at the mid, which discards their cards, making them have less options. Then we have a disablosaur at the back, which disables mouth and horn cards. So we actually have tons of disables and discards for this team, which is really quite fun to play. This is a very fun variant. So here we should actually always remember to check the card counter. So it should show at the top right that it was at 6, although it's not showing in the replay, but if you're actually playing a game, it should be at 6, because that was the number of cards he had at the start of the last turn. Then he played 2 cards, so he's down to 4. We discarded 3 cards, so he's down to 1. And then he draws 3 cards right now, so he's at 4. So not much options for him right now. And then since he also attacked into our Hatsune plant, his bird and beast actually have their cards disabled, so the bird doesn't have any cards to play because all the bird cards are range. The beast has the Axie keys and the hair disabled, so he's limited to the dual blade and the hero. But we've actually already seen him play 1 dual blade and 1 hero, so it is also unlikely that he still has those cards. So here we can infer that he either has plant or bird cards, which are both not usable in this situation, so we can just safely play 1 pincer and pass this turn. Okay, so as we can see, he can't play anything, so we just play 1 pincer and end his last stand and go into the next turn trying to kill his beast. So at this position we should actually just kill his beast, because in the 1v1 our disablosaur would actually just kill the bird. There is no problem in that 1v1. So here, since we drew both kestrels, we can just play the double kestrel hotbot trump to ensure the beast kill. Because actually if we play a double kestrel plus vine dagger and hotbot, that only deals 418 damage. So if the beast plays 3 cards like double hair and Axie Kiss, that would be enough for him to actually survive. And Axie Kiss is a dangerous card, especially if we put him low enough. So here we can just pour all our energy into killing our beast, since we can win against the bird anyways in a straight up 1v1, even if we are at a disadvantage in energy. So he didn't end up having the beast cards to put up enough shield, but that is fine. We are able to kill his beast this turn. And since he was actually expecting our bug to play a fish knock there, he played the post fight at the second turn, so his bird does end up taking damage for it. And luckily he plays at least one discard, so we are able to end his last stand. So from here on out is actually just rudimentary play. Let's just play the maximum shields and then try to kill his bird. So we also try to disable his double talk for the next turn. Actually here I should have just played the Kestrel because that was already a sure kill. But it's fine since we will win anyways, even though he scores a lucky crit. So yeah, as long as your disablosaur is faster than his beast, you will likely have a very good odds of winning this game. As long as you are able to reach a 2v2, then you're practically already won, since his beast is a liability while your bug can stall out for long periods of time. And then just remember that the double talk range of the bird is actually 400 damage. That's double talk post fight, 400 damage, 400 true damage for 2 energy. Or if he has 4 energy, since this one has a Kestrel in it, that should be 420 damage for the double talk Kestrel combo. Okay, thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. Next video will probably be against plant Aqua Aqua, and then after that I'll maybe do a poll on if we face the double anemone plus bird or the god plants. So I'll try to do that on YouTube, and hopefully I can post more videos up soon. Thank you.